Hey guys, John here from Mob Rules. Here today looking at the brand new Citadel Paint app. Just got released by Games Workshop in support of their Citadel Paint range. I played around with this app a little bit. It is a lot of fun. I say it's surprisingly good. Very well made, very easy to use. The best way to get started, surprisingly enough, is with the Get Started screen. This screen here breaks down all of kind of the words you're going to see throughout the app. So if it tells you to layer something, it will tell you exactly what it means by layering. When it tells you to dry brush something, it tells you exactly what it means by dry brushing. And a lot of these are accompanied by videos done by Duncan as well, showing each of these techniques in use. Which again makes it just super easy to use. It recommends the kind of brush to use for each step. And really it moves on to the brushes underneath and describes what the brush is and kind of the benefits of that brush. So it's really kind of trying to educate you in the paint thing. The next part we're going to go to in this app is going to be the inventory and wish list section. This is going to be my favorite part of the app, as I am terrible at keeping track of the paints I have. So when we go here, I can tell the app exactly what paints I own by hitting the check mark and denoting that that is a paint that I own. And every single paint from the current range is in there. Goodness knows I do not remember all of the paints I have because I have way too many paints. But let's get a few more in here. Alright, so now that I have a rough entry of the paints I have, we can go back and check out the different sections. Now they have two really neat options for us right now. We have Paint by Miniature, which gives us kind of a list of all the different miniatures they have tutorials for right now. And then also Paint by Color. The Paint by Color is really good. It splits it down into kind of a bunch of base colors. So if we're talking about my Imperial Fist here, I would hit the yellow. I got several different options what kind of yellow I want to do. But of course I want to look at the Imperial Fist armor. So I'm going to click that one. And it's going to tell me exactly how I can do that. Starting with the base coat of Averland Sunset. And if we're confused about the base coat, again I can go back to the Getting Started section and it's going to explain exactly what it is. Layer on Uriel Yellow. Put an Agrax Earthshade wash or shade. And then a Screaming Skull Edge highlight. Now if I wanted to do 100 Tactical Marines in a short amount of time, it also tells me on the top here how to do it under a dry brush. With the similar thing, but using the dry paint Tyrant skull at the end instead. The nice thing about it is if you look at this right hand side here, the app already tells me I have every paint I need in order to kind of complete this color and kind of get this look here. When we look at something like a gray, and I want to learn how to paint Space Wolf's armor, we can see here that in order to get a good layer paint on Space Wolf armor, we need to do a base coat of the Fang, and then we need to shade Agrax Earthshade, and then we need to layer in some Rust Gray with an edge highlight of Fenrisian Gray. But it's showing me I don't own the Fang or a Rust Gray. I do own the Fenrisian Gray, I do have the Agrax Earthshade, but those two I don't. So this is when I would use the Wishlist feature, where I click the star pot, and what that does, when we go all the way back to our main screen, go to our inventory and wish list. When I click wish list, it'll show me exactly the pots of paint that I need to get and exactly everything I need to do in order to complete my paint job. This is great because when I have this on my phone, I'm going to be able to be at the store and know exactly what paints I have and what paints I need to have. If I go to the store and I pick up, say, a tank, and I want to make sure that I have all the paints that I need at home in order to kind of get that paint job finished and exactly what I need, I can very quickly check out which paints I have and it'll come out in this nice list here. And then once I buy them in the store, I just hit the check mark to show that they're bought, and they're going to move over to my inventory, or they'll move over to my inventory, hopefully. So we remove them from my wish list. Alright, the final section I want to go over here, actually we're going to go by paint by base because I spent like $3 on an app to tell me how to do this years ago. If we wanted to do urban debris, it tells us exactly how to do that with our texture paint, our shade, and our dry brush. We're looking kind of at some of the Blood God's realm. It's going to tell us how to do that with our Astro Granite Debris or Agrax Earthshade and then their Tyrant skull on top. and then some blood for the blood gods kind of splattered in there. But every single different kind of ground you can think of can go in there, and this is something I hope that they're going to expand on as well in the future. Of course, my Imperial Fists are on the Blighted Tundra there. The last part I want to go over is going to be the Paint by Miniature section, which is a section which hopefully will be expanding as the app kind of gets life, and they're heavily pushing it, so I'm assuming that they're going to keep adding to this section. But if I wanted to know how to paint a Caden shock troop, this app will tell me exactly what colors go where and how to paint them. So if I had ever a question on how to paint Kitty in armor, I can hit Kitty in armor, and it'll take me back to that screen and tell me which paints to use. It looks like I have to go shopping though, because I do not have nearly enough paints to get this done, because I'm going to need that base coat of Crystalline Green, and an edge highlight of Straken Green, and then edge highlight of Nurgling Green in order to get that there. Can I dry brush it? I can dry brush it a little easier. Still need that Crystalline Green undercoat. And yeah, it tells me how to do my black, tells me how to do my gunmetal, and it's just all in one place. So right now, there's a lot of different models in here, a lot of more recent models in here. If I want to learn how to paint Imperial Fists, they only have an Intercessor here, but the great thing about Space Marines, of course, is if I can paint an Intercessor, I can paint literally any other Space Marine. You can tell me how to do Cabalite Warrior. If it hits the sea green for the Cabalite armor, tell me exactly how to get that look right there, which with the edge highlighting on Dark Elder or Drukai is very good to put in here. And yeah, that is the Citadel Paint App. Oh, there is one more thing in here that is quite amazing when they get it to work 100% properly 100% of the time. I unfortunately have had kind of mixed success with it, but if we go to Paint by Color, there's a little camera in the top right of the screen here. So when we click that, it brings up my camera. We're going to get my little phone in here. And when I tap the color I want on the screen and click Find Matches, it'll tell me what color it is we're looking at. And they tell me it matches pretty close to Ultramarine armor, which saddens me, or blue. And then it'll tell me how to paint stuff to get close to my phone. Like I said, it's not perfect, but as a feature, it's pretty... it wasn't something I was expecting at all. We're going to try again here with this wonderful thing. I want to know how to paint something, a scroll, the same color as the information sheet from the Leviathan Dreadnought. And it tells me it's parchment. And it tells me exactly how to paint parchment. And this goes on and on. And again, it all depends how much natural light you have in the room, or how much light you have in the room. I've tried this when I haven't had a ton of light, and it's not helped whatsoever, understandably. If I see one of my son's Pokemon cards, and I really want to have a color the same color as the Pelipper's lip, I'll tell him it's light brass, gold, or mustard. So while it's kind of bringing up a few different options, a lot of the time it's hitting it. You just need to make sure the lighting in the room is right. Any complaints I've seen where it's like, oh, this color match doesn't work, is the light needs to be there, otherwise it's not going to get the kind of color in there. So that is the Citadel Paint App. What are your guys' thoughts? Do you love it? Do you hate it? What do you want to see added to it right now? This is a fantastic thing that kind of helps people of my skill level get that good, consistent paid job across the army. It also attacks kind of two things. They still have the Duncan tutorials going, so people can learn by watching YouTube. I personally not a fan of painting by YouTube. You know, like the constant stopping and starting, kind of like just distracting, or rewinding if I miss a bit. So having kind of everything in front of me on my iPad or on my phone is really going to help me out and kind of get this here. We're going to try it in the real world in this upcoming week here. I'm going to see what I can do to get my Imperial Fists looking a little less orange fists and a little bit more regal or rogal. So we'll see how that does in the next video, which should be out next week. But while this is new and fresh out, I just wanted to kind of go over it, make sure everyone understood what the app was, what it can do, what it's about, and hopefully it can help you guys get your miniatures painted. Let me know what your experience is with the app in the comments below. Again, my name's been John from Mob Rules, so I'll see you next time.